guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my last top 5 installment before I start over again. So I know a lot of y'all have asked me to redo my whole top 5 series, but I know particularly you are wanting the top 5 foundations, my updated one, because I feel like I haven't gone back and checked, but I feel like it's been like a year since I've started this, so I'll check before. But I need a little bit more time for my foundations because I do want to film me applying them and kind of like a before and after for each one. So I decided that I'm going to do my top 5 mascaras this month and I'm going to start over next month. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about my top 5 mascaras. And funnily enough, I don't have a full size of any of them but one. I take that back. One of them I'm still using the deluxe sample, but I do have a full size. But here's the thing. Most sample size mascaras, I mean, I can use for like 2 or 3 weeks, which is plenty of time to determine whether or not I really like the mascara or not and how it works for me. So, you know, I've established my opinion. These are my top 5. Whether I have a full size or not, I promise you they're my top 5. I don't know that I have like a favorite out of them. So I'm really not going to go in any particular order. I'm not going to save like the best for last or anything like that. I'm just going to talk about it. Now, before I get into that, I do want to tell you, I do use new Lash Enhancing Serum. I'll put a picture in it because it's downstairs right now. I use that every single night before I go to bed. So that does aid in the growth of my lashes. And I also will not do mascara without a couple of things that I'm going to show you right now. And I am going to link everything that I talk about down in the description bar. The first thing that I do is curl my lashes. Currently, I'm using the Kevyn Aucoin Lash Curler, which, I mean, it's just a lash curler. I know some people are die hard for their particular lash curler that they use. I have found that among the good ones, I don't really see much of a difference. I know there are some really bad ones out there, and I have definitely partaken in using the very bad ones. This one, however, is a good one. The only thing is that when I do a close-up later, you will see, even with a half lash curler, which I do have from MAC, there are a couple lashes, especially on this eye, that just will not curl on the very outside. So they kind of just stick out like that, but that's all right. It's not the curler's fault because, like I said, I've tried many decent ones and good ones and they still won't curl. So that's what I start with, and no fail, all the time when I'm doing my mascara, I always use a primer, and my very favorite is the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer. I put this on as a base and I don't let it dry. I know some people will say to let your primer dry before you apply the mascara. I apply it one eye at a time, so I'll start with one eye. I'll put the primer on. I'll automatically and immediately go in with the mascara after the primer, and then I go to the other eye. That's just my personal preference. I mean, you're just gonna have to try it a couple different ways if you choose to use the primer, but that's how I do it. All right, and finally, I'm going to tell you real quick my favorite bottom lash mascara because I am high maintenance and I do choose to use a different bottom lash mascara than a top lash mascara. A couple of reasons. First, I'll tell you what it is. It's the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara. I think everybody has seen it, heard about it. I mean, this is very popular for bottom lashes. The first reason is the brush. It's a very skinny brush, which is perfect for those bottom lashes. The second reason is it does not flake, it does not smudge, it does not smear, it does none of that. It's absolutely bulletproof on my lower lashes. So if you have an issue with your mascara running or smearing or flaking throughout the day, especially on your bottom lashes, I highly recommend this one. It has, I mean, I will forever use it. I hope to goodness MAC doesn't discontinue it because they do that with all of my favorite products. Nonetheless, let's get started on the actual mascaras. This one, for like over a year, was my absolute hands down favorite. I remember telling y'all there's nothing better, and I still really do like it, but I don't think that it's like got the top spot anymore. But it's the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara, and this is the one that I do have in a full size. I've gone through at least 4 of these in either full size or sample sizes. A lot of times they're included in like the gift with purchase by Ulta. This is an hourglass shaped wand, you will find that I much prefer a natural bristle brush than I do a plastic bristle. Now, some of the ones that I like do have plastic bristles. However, they're not like poke you in the eye. Like the Benefit, they're real. I cannot use that mascara. I don't see how anybody can. It's just so uncomfortable. So I don't like that kind of brush. I like a bigger, fluffier, natural hair brush. And this one is very similar, if not identical, to the brush of Too Faced Better Than Sex, which I do not like that mascara personally, but I do like the brush, and this one is very similar. It's more of a wet mascara, I feel like, so you are going to have a little bit more clumpiness, and if you're not willing to put the time in to separate your lashes afterwards, you may not like this, but it does give a lot of volume and a lot of length. So again, a very good one, and was my favorite for a very long time. The next two, I think I talked about in a favorites video a few months back, and I asked y'all which one was your favorite between the two, and I think 50% said one and 50% said the other. I was trying to determine which full size I was going to buy, and that didn't help me at all, but I do appreciate your input. The first one is the Chanel Le Volume de Chanel Mascara. Again, a deluxe size sample. All of these are in the color black, by the way, and this actually does have plastic bristles to it. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it is, again, a very large brush, and it's not painful. This stuff is no joke. The only thing I don't like about this, and because I don't have a full size, I can't speak for the full size, because I know a lot of times the samples are different than the full size in more than one way, which is a little disconcerting too, but the thing that I am not the biggest fan of is that I felt like this dried out very quickly. And I feel like if the full size does that, I'm not going to really want to spend the $32, which I think it is, on something that's going to dry out before I can finish it, because, I mean, I'm just not getting my money's worth. But it just, again, it's very volumizing. I think that it gives more volume versus length, which, you know, the name is Le Volume de Chanel, so that makes sense. This next one, I feel like gives more length than it does volume, and it's the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill. Again, deluxe sample. This one, the brush is, I think it's natural hair. It's a very different brush, and it's not going to be, I know it's not going to come off on camera, but it has almost like a flat edge, and then when you turn around, it gets more curved on the other side. Do y'all see that? I hope you can see it. I love the design of this brush because I feel like I can set the curved side down and set it right on the like root of my lash to where the flat side is touching my lash, and just pull it up, and it gives so much length. It does not give as much volume for me. I never turn my phone off, sorry. It does not ever give as much volume for me as the Chanel one. I'm tongue-tied. But the length is so nice, and I feel like it doesn't have the tendency to clump as much as the Chanel does, and it feels lighter. You know, sometimes I do this while I'm sitting there reading, or I'm like doing the computer work or something. I will pick at my eyelashes, which I know is not good, but I'm just picking like the mascara off of it. And this feels so much lighter, the Armani one, than the Chanel does on the lashes. Like, I almost feel like if I run my finger on my lashes after I put the mascara on, I feel like I don't have any mascara on. Does that make sense? I don't know. Both very, very, very good mascaras. I think it just depends on what your end game is, if you want more volume or you want more length. And then finally, the last two are the ones I have on my eyes today. And the reason that I used two different mascaras today is because I wanted to do a close-up and see if y'all saw the difference. The more I got to using one of them, the more I felt like this is really similar to the other one. So I wanted to put them up against each other because it is I mean, it's an $11 price difference. So, you know, that's a price difference. I'm going to zoom in first. Hope that I am in focus. I'm thinking about really upping my monitor game for y'all and my benefit, and having a separate big monitor because this viewfinder is not doing it, but hopefully I'm in focus. So this one is one mascara and this one is the other. So can you tell the difference? See, those are those ones right there that just will not curl to save my life. But can you tell the difference I mean, they're both very voluminous. I feel like one maybe gives a little bit more length than the other one. but that's what we're working for. Just so you know, I want you to be able to have a visual before I tell you what it is. So on this eye, and this is the one that I also have a full size in backup that I bought during the Ulta 10 times the points sale. And this is the Lancome Monseur, Mr. Big mascara. And this is the travel size, which you can buy separately. It's $12 versus the full size is $25, which is really not that bad for a high-end mascara. Again, a very full natural hair brush. And if I don't remember whether I said it, that's the one I have on this eye. So the Lancome one is on this eye. This one is the Sephora brand Lashcraft Big Volume, and it's one of the newer ones. This I got as a 100-point perk, but the full size is $14, and it has a very similar brush to the Stila, as in a natural haired hourglass shaped brush. So still a large brush, but not as rounded in the middle as the Lancome. I love both of these, but honestly, I think this one is just as good. In fact, I think it lengthens a little bit more than the Lancome. For $14, it cannot be beat. It cannot be beat. I find myself reaching for this, honestly, over all the other ones I've talked about. I'm not going to sit here and say it's my absolute favorite because I can't say that, but lately I have been reaching for it almost every single day. I have used it consistently over the past few weeks, and it's still going strong. It has not dried out. It's not so wet that it transfers to my eyelid, although I think I have some on my eyelid that I didn't clean up today. So y'all probably saw that in the close-up, but okay. So honestly, I say save the $11 and buy the Sephora brand Lashcraft Big Volume. I think it's really, really good for the price. If you're wanting like luxury, definitely try out the Chanel or the Armani. But if you're wanting to save a little bit of money and put that $11 towards something else, like a foundation or some skincare, then I would definitely recommend the Sephora. But that is it. That's my top 5 mascaras. I have so many more that I really just need to throw out because I just don't find myself using them enough to warrant keeping them open, especially the ones I have open. I mean, I put a date on all of them, but they're too old. I need to just throw them away, which always pains me, but nonetheless, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you got a new idea of, you know, what mascara to try. I know a lot of y'all might ask me about the Lash Paradise because I did not include any drugstore mascaras. A lot of people will say, I do want to touch on this. I know it's going to be a longer video, but a lot of people will say that, you know, you don't need to spend money on a high-end mascara. Drugstore is just as good. To an extent, but no drugstore that I have tried does what the ones I've talked about do for my lashes personally. I think you can get a decent mascara, yes. I just don't have like a holy grail. The L'Oreal Lash Paradise was great and I loved it, but it dried up after like 2 weeks. And I find that if I were to repurchase it every time after it dried out, it would be honestly the same as me spending money on a higher end that's going to last me a lot longer. So I'm looking this way because my mascara drawer is over there. A lot of the Maybelline mascaras are great, but they make my lashes fall out. I don't know what it is about it, but I will use those and literally I will look like I will have lashes falling out of my eyes. It must be some kind of ingredient they use. I don't know. So just for me personally, I find that the ones that you do spend a little bit more money on work best for me and my lashes. So as always, I want to know what your favorite mascara of all time is. Be sure and put it down in the comment section below and check all the details in my description bar. I also have a blog sale going on right now. I put it up in the last video and I've already sold quite a few things, but there's still some things left, hopefully, by the time I put this up. And I will leave that link down in the description bar. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a very blessed day.